Hey everyone, welcome back to Unseen Cinema. If you enjoy deep dives into superhero films, comics, and the stories that could shape the DCU, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. It really helps the channel grow and lets me bring you more videos just like this one. When James Gunn and Peter Safran unveiled DC Studios' roadmap in 2023, one title immediately stood out: Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Unlike previous Batman films, this isn't a solo vigilante story or a reboot of Pattinson's darker Batman. Instead, it promises a tale about legacy, family, and the Dark Knight as both hero and father. This film is inspired by Grant Morrison's run, focusing on Bruce Wayne and his son Damian, while introducing the wider Bat family. The title nods to the comic series known for pairing Batman with other DC heroes, signaling a more adventurous, fantastical tone than Matt Reeves' grounded detective noir. The central questions are: who will play Batman? Who is Damian Wayne? Which villains will appear? And how will the story balance realism with comic book spectacle? Let's break it down. Since Pattinson's Batman exists in a separate continuity, The Brave and the Bold requires a new Bruce Wayne, older, more experienced, and capable of leading a family of heroes. Alan Ritchson has the physicality for a Dark Knight Returns-style Batman, towering, broad-shouldered, and intimidating. His stoicism, paired with occasional wit, suits a Batman balancing fatherhood and vigilante duty. Critics might worry he's too militaristic, but the DCU's larger-than-life heroes could accommodate that. Jensen Ackles brings experience voicing Batman and a history of playing brooding heroes. His gruff intensity and sardonic charm could work perfectly for a world-weary, reluctant father. Age may be a factor, but it complements Gunn's vision of an older, battle-hardened Batman. Brandon Sklenar represents a younger take with quiet intensity and potential to be molded into a definitive, live-action Batman. While he lacks established star power, this could let audiences embrace him without preconceived notions. Ackles for fan support and nuance, Richson for imposing physicality, Sklenar for a fresh start. Damian Wayne, son of Bruce and Talia, is a prodigy trained by the League of Assassins. He's arrogant, ruthless, and embodies everything Batman fights against: killing and vengeance. Owen Cooper could strike the right balance: fierce, bratty, and disciplined. Other possibilities include Roman Griffin Davis or Christian Convery. Damian's character will likely be softened slightly for audiences, still arrogant and dangerous, but with comedic, bratty energy to provide father-son dynamic and levity. Damian begins loyal to Ra's ideology, but gradually embraces Batman's code. The arc mirrors the film's central theme: legacy. It's about Damian becoming Robin and Bruce stepping into his role as a father. The Brave and the Bold isn't just a solo Batman film, it introduces the Bat family. Dick Grayson represents Batman's chosen legacy. Optimistic and skilled, he contrasts Damian's arrogance. Actors like Dacre Montgomery or Jacob Elordi could capture Nightwing's athleticism and charm. He provides both mentorship and tension as Damian's older brother figure. Jason Todd, the second Robin, resurrected as Red Hood, embodies what Damian could become if Batman fails. Jason offers dramatic tension and a glimpse at the consequences of failure. Tanner Buchanan could portray his mix of vulnerability and vengeance. Tim Drake is the detective Robin who earned his place, showing legacy can be earned, not inherited. Walker Scobell could play him as intelligent, curious, and earnest, balancing Damian's impulsiveness. Barbara Gordon, also known as Batgirl, adds perspective, strategy, and emotional grounding. Casting someone like Zoe Deutsch would bring intelligence, charisma, and grit to the role. Even brief cameos or references make Gotham feel populated and lived in, emphasizing that Batman operates within a larger legacy. The film draws from Grant Morrison's comics and centers on ideological conflict. Talia is perhaps the most important villain in this film. She's not just Damian's mother, she's also one of Bruce's most complex love interests. Unlike Catwoman, who represents temptation and rebellion, Talia represents legacy and destiny. She believes Damian should inherit the mantle of Ra's al Ghul, not Batman. Casting Isa Gonzalez as Talia would be perfect. She brings the right mix of elegance, danger, and charisma. Talia isn't a mustache-twirling villain. She's a woman torn between her loyalty to her father's mission and her feelings for Bruce. In The Brave and the Bold, she could serve as the ideological opposite to Batman's vision for Damian. Speaking of fathers, Ra's al Ghul himself should appear, if not as the main villain, then as the looming threat behind the scenes. Ra's represents the ultimate extremist vision: save the world by destroying it. He's the shadow over Damian's future, the legacy Batman is fighting against. An actor like F. Murray Abraham or Mark Strong could bring gravitas to Ra's. His presence would tie the story to the larger DCU, since Ra's often sees himself as a global player, not just a Gotham villain. Then there's Deathstroke. Fans have been clamoring to see him on the big screen ever since Joe Manganiello's cameo in Justice League. A Batman film with Damian Wayne practically demands Deathstroke's involvement. In the comics, Slade often serves as both rival and dark mirror to Batman, a mercenary with similar skills but none of the moral restraint. Having Deathstroke target Damian would immediately raise the stakes. He's the kind of villain who could test both father and son in different ways. Batman in combat, Damian in morality. With rumors of a standalone Bane project in the works, it wouldn't be surprising if he appeared here too. Bane represents raw physical power, the kind of foe who can literally break Batman. Including him could add variety to the rogues gallery, contrasting Ra's and Deathstroke's cerebral threats with brute force. Of course, the danger here is overcrowding. The film doesn't need all four villains fighting for screen time. A smarter approach would be to focus on Talia and Ra's as the ideological villains, with Deathstroke as the physical antagonist, and perhaps Bane teased for the future. Now let's talk about one of the most exciting aspects, the Batsuit. We already got a tease in Creature Commando's concept art that shows a bulkier, more comic-inspired Batman design. That hints that Gunn's Batman might lean away from the tactical realism of Pattinson and Nolan and more toward the comic book aesthetic. Imagine a suit inspired by Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Wide chest emblem, thicker armor, shorter ears. Combine that with the blue and gray color scheme from the comics, complete with a yellow oval around the bat symbol, and you have something both nostalgic and fresh. White eyes are another possibility. They've never been done in live-action films, but in animation and comics, they give Batman that otherworldly, almost supernatural presence. On the other hand, the suit could still carry grounded elements. Heavy armor plating, like in Batman vs. Superman, reinforced gauntlets, and a cape with gliding functionality. The key will be balancing style with practicality. If The Brave and the Bold really leans into the Bat family, maybe the suit could even have modular upgrades. Tech that connects Batman to his allies in the field. A more tactical approach, but still visually striking. This brings us to tone. Matt Reeves's The Batman leaned heavily into grounded detective noir. Nolan's trilogy leaned into crime drama with bursts of realism. But Gunn's DCU is clearly embracing the fantastical. Superman will be more hopeful, Green Lantern will involve space cops, and Creature Commandos features literal monsters. So where does Batman fit? One option is to embrace the weird. A Batman who fights ninjas, assassins, and mystical cults. A Gotham that feels gothic and surreal, closer to the Arkham games or even Tim Burton's exaggerated cityscapes. This would allow for villains like Man-Bat or Clayface in future films, something Reeves' universe would struggle to justify. The other option is to keep Batman semi-grounded. Not as gritty as Reeves, but still rooted in realism, tech-based gadgets, mob crime, and human foes. This would prevent tonal whiplash within the DCU. But honestly, the best approach might be a middle ground. Batman can be serious, but he exists in a world where Superman is real. That means embracing a level of unreality while still keeping Batman himself grounded. Gotham can be stylized. The villains can be heightened. But Bruce Wayne should always feel human. This balance between the fantastical and the realistic will define the identity of the brave and the bold. Here is a predicted plot for the film mapped out. Damian carries out a League mission, demonstrating his lethal skill. Talia brings him to Gotham, confronting Bruce with fatherhood and the challenges of raising a trained assassin. Batman versus Damian creates the core tension, while Nightwing, Tim Drake, and Batgirl provide allies, guidance, and perspective. The League's incursion and Ra's ultimatum set stakes high. Batman attempts to train Damian in mercy and justice. Damian resists, mocking Batman's no-kill rule and creating chaos. Deathstroke's arrival introduces a physical threat and a dark mirror for Damian. Bat family dynamics expand. Dick as the older brother, Jason as a warning, Barbara as the conscience. Damian's betrayal midway intensifies emotional stakes. Ra's enacts a city-threatening plan, positioning Damian as his heir. Deathstroke turns on Damian, forcing him to choose. Damian joins Batman in the climactic battle. Parallel confrontations. Batman versus Ra's, Damian versus Deathstroke. The resolution unites the Bat family, establishes Damian as Robin, and solidifies Bruce's role as father and mentor. For future DC Universe links, the film could eventually lead to other projects. Damian could connect with John Kent in future Super Son stories. The League of Assassins and the Lazarus Pits could tie Gotham to the DCU's supernatural side. Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl could each branch into their own stories, expanding the Bat family's cinematic presence. This film is about Batman's evolution from solitary vigilante to mentor and father. Damian represents blood legacy. Dick, Jason, Tim, and Barbara represent chosen legacy. Batman's mission is no longer just crime fighting, it's shaping the next generation. This could be the definitive Batman story, exploring legacy, mentorship, and connection while still delivering iconic action and fantastical spectacle. Batman, the Brave and the Bold could be a gritty yet fantastical tale of legacy, family, and heroism. It has the potential to redefine Batman as not just a brooding vigilante, but a mentor, father, and symbol of legacy. Gunn's film could unite the mythos like never before, blending fantastical storytelling with a grounded emotional core. The brave, the bold, the Dark Knight. And that's what makes Batman, the Brave and the Bold, such an exciting chapter in DC's future. Here on Unseen Cinema, we dive into the stories still waiting to hit the screen and the films we may never get to see. So if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what unseen or upcoming projects you'd like us to explore next.